Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Federal Supreme Council Simulation on the 24th Annual Supreme Court. In a few minutes, we will witness how our rulers govern the United Arab Emirates. But before we begin, I would like to provide an overview of the Federal Supreme Council, the Federal National Council, and the Federal Judiciary. There are 5 federal authorities described in the UAE Constitution. They are the Federal Supreme Council, the Federal President and the Vice President, the Federal National Council, the Federal Cabinet, and the Federal Judiciary. The Federal Supreme Council comprises of the rulers of the 7 emirates. A President and a Vice President is elected from amongst its members to serve for a renewable 5-year term in the office. Accordingly, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, the ruler of Abu Dhabi, was elected as a president in 2004 following the death of his father, His Highness late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. The Federal Supreme Council ratifies federal laws and decrees, plans general policy, approves nomination of the Prime Minister, accepts the Prime Minister's resignation, and also relieves the Prime Minister from his post on the recommendation of the President. The Federal Supreme Council meets 4 times each year. The rulers of the 7 emirates or those acting in their emirate in the ruler's absence attend these meetings. Each ruler has 1 vote in the Federal Supreme Council's resolutions. Now that we understand the Federal Supreme Council, we will discuss what the Federal National Council or the FNC is. The Federal National Council is one of the 5 federal authorities and is UAE's parliamentary body, and it comprises of 40 members. The Federal National Council discusses constitutional amendments and draft laws in which may be approved or amended or even rejected. The Federal National Council also reviews the Federation's annual budget, debates international treaties and conventions, and influences the government's work through channels of discussion, question and answer sessions, and recommendations. And no country is complete without a judiciary. The Federal Judiciary is one of the 5 authorities and is independent under the Constitution. The Federal Judiciary includes the Federal Supreme Court and the courts of first instance. The Federal Supreme Court comprises of 5 judges, and each of the 5 judges are appointed by the Federal Supreme Council. The judges decide on the constitutionality of federal laws and arbitrate on inter-emirate disputes as well as disputes between the federal government and each emirate. We will now commence the Federal Supreme Council simulation. In a moment, all the 7 rulers and their advisors will enter the meeting chamber. As a sign of respect to our national leaders, we request that you stand as the rulers and their advisors enter the meeting chamber and sit down once the rulers and their advisors have taken their seats. You should now silence or power off your mobile phones and paging devices. We are asked that you refrain from talking or motioning hand gestures such as applause during the simulation. Defer all applause towards the end of the simulation. At the conclusion of the simulation, all visitors must stand and remain in their position until all our rulers and advisors have exited the meeting chamber. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, kindly rise up to welcome the rulers of our emirates.
Ruler of Abu Dhabi and President of the Supreme Council.
His Highness Sheikh Rashid Al ruler of Dubai and Vice President of the Supreme Council.
I'm His Highness Dr. Sheikh Sultan Muhammad Al Qasim, the ruler of Sharjah.
I am His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Sakar Al Qasimi, ruler of Ras Al Khaimah.
I am His Highness Sheikh Hamad bin Muhammad Al Shadi, ruler of Fujairah.
I am His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Rashid Al Mualla, ruler of Al Kohen.
I am His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Nuaimi, the ruler of Ajman.
I have the honor of launching UAE Vision 2021 at the closing cabinet meeting in 2010. The UAE Vision 2021 aims to make UAE among the best countries in the world. The vision also charts the next stage of our journey leading up until the year 2021, when we will celebrate the golden jubilee of our beloved UAE. The UAE Vision 2021 is inspired by the principles of our founding fathers and is guided by the National Work Programme launched by our President and adopted by the members of this Federal Supreme Council. We must respond proactively to all the challenges in a way that will secure the future generations a legacy worthy of pioneers who founded our great nation, a legacy defined by prosperity, security, stability, and a life filled with dignity and prosperity. May Allah help us and guide us on this noble journey. I will now open the platform for each student to discuss about the UAE Vision 2021.
The UAE Vision 2021 will be guided by its 4 pillars: united in responsibility, united in diversity, united in destiny, and united in prosperity. The first pillar in UAE Vision 2021 is united in responsibility. Under united in responsibility, one focus area is to encourage confident and responsible Emiratis and cohesive and prosperous families. We hope Emiratis will become confident citizens who shall embrace the spirit of entrepreneurship and responsibility, engage in the course of this nation and adopt moral values for richer fulfillment. We hope that cohesive and prosperous families will form the cornerstone of our society, who will embrace the traditional value of marriage, continue to empower women and maintain close ties between family members to ensure their rightful role in society.
Under the United in Responsibility pillar, the second focus area is to foster strong and active communities and a vibrant culture. Strong and active communities will continue to make up the fabric of a vibrant and a well-knit Emirati society, reinforcing a bond of solidarity among the citizens. The UAE's distinct culture is founded on progressive and modern Islamic values and is endowed with rich Arabic language. We must proudly celebrate Emirati traditions and heritage while reinforcing a national identity.
The second pillar of UAE Vision 2021 is United in Destiny. In the United in Destiny, one focus area is to uphold the legacy of the United Nations founding father and continue to maintain a safe and secure nation. We must uphold the legacy of our founding fathers to ensure balanced development throughout the Emirates by actively coordinating among the levels of government and integrating national planning and executing in all policy areas. We must continue to be the custodian of a safe and secure nation by ensuring economic resilience and stability, upholding fairness and justice, and offering an advanced welfare system so that all Emiratis can overcome adversity and contribute positively to our society.
Under the United in Destiny pillar, the second focus area is to establish and enhance an international standing. Our country's international standing should continue to grow as its successes highlight its prestige as a regional and international role model. The third pillar of UAE Vision 2021 is United in Knowledge. Under United in Knowledge, one focus area is to harness the full potential of a human capital by maximizing Emirati participation, encouraging entrepreneurship, nurturing homegrown public and private sector leaders while attracting and retaining the best industry talent.
Under the United in Knowledge pillar, a second focus area is the accessible and diversified economy that is non-knowledge-based and highly protected. The UAE must promote sensitive and diversified economy to adapt new economic model and capitalize on global economic. Invention, research, science and technology to form the bedrock should be driven by the bedrock of entrepreneurs which environment, public and private sector can form effective partnership and
The fourth and the last pillar of UAE Vision 2021 is United in Prosperity. Under United in Prosperity, one focus area is to promote long and healthy lives and first-rate education. The UAE will promote long and healthy lives for all Emiratis by providing equitable access to world-class medical care while actively protecting against health hazards through awareness and prevention. All Emiratis will have equal opportunities and access to first-rate education that will allow them to develop well-rounded individual, enhance educational attainment and achieve their true potential, contributing positively to society.
under the United in Prosperity pillar. A second focus area is to attain well-rounded lifestyle and well-preserved natural environment. The UAE will nurture high quality of life built on world-class public infrastructure, government services, and a rich recreational environment. As the leader of the Green Revolution, the UAE is conscious of its responsibility to safeguard nature and mitigate the effects of climate change on its habitat and ecosystem in order to ensure that the future generation inherit an environmentally sustainable world.
All focus areas under the UAE Vision 2021 will certainly make the United Arab Emirates one of the best countries in the world. Now we will move on to the next item on our agenda. We have received a proposition submitted by the Federal National Council to protect a new botanical species. This proposition shall regulate the rights and obligations pertaining to the invention of new botanical species and contains 42 articles. The proposition calls for a new botanical species protection register to be set up in the Ministry of Environment and Water to protect the rights of plant inventors who discover new botanical species. The proposition grants rights to plant inventors if their new botanical species meets the following criteria. The plant must be new, the plant must be distinguishable, the plant must be homogeneous, the plant must be stable, the plant must not be harmful to health or environment, and the plant must not contradict the Islamic Sharia or law of the state. The proposition states that any individual must obtain authorization from the plant inventor if the individual wishes to use the new botanical species for the following purposes: production, breeding or multiplication, preparation of breeding or multiplication, offer for sale, marketing, export and import, storage of the breeding or multiplication of the new botanical species through unauthorized routes. I will now place a proposition on the floor so that each one of you can discuss it with your advisor and then cast your vote. Since we have all finished discussing, we will conduct a roll call vote by having each ruler's advisor state if the ruler and his emirate is for, against or abstains from voting the discussed proposition.
The Emirate of Abu Dhabi is for the proposition to protect new botanical species.
The Emirate of Dubai is for the proposition to protect new botanical species. The Emirate of Sharjah is for the proposition to protect new botanical species.
The Emirate of Ras Al Khaimah is for no against the proposition to protect new botanical species.
The Emirate of Algeria is for no against the proposition to protect new botanical species.
The Emirate of Oman abstains from voting for proposition to protect new botanical species.
The Emirate of Ajman is for the proposition to protect the new botanical species.
We have 4 votes, 2 against votes and 1 abstention. As President of the United Arab Emirates State, I, Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, hereby promulgate the protection of new botanical species. Proposed as a federal law now number 17 signed today at the Presidential Palace in Abu Dhabi. The new law is pursuant to the proposal of the Constitution and has been issued based on the proposal from the Minister of Environment and Water. The consent of the Cabinet and the Federal National Council and the approval of the Federal Supreme Council, this federal law shall be published in the official gazette and shall come into force as of the date that follows the date of publication. This concludes our meeting. May Allah continue to bless and help us as we move forward into making our country and citizens great.
This concludes our Federal Supreme Council meeting. You are may now applaud. Please rise and remain at your seats as our rulers and advisors are exiting the meeting chamber.